everybody, and welcome back to another episode of I've Said Too Much. So today I wanted to talk about something called intrusive thoughts. This is going to give you a pretty good idea of how truly weird my mind is, but also hoping that someone else will relate to this so I don't feel completely crazy. Why am I Googling Google? Google defines an intrusive thought as an unwelcome, involuntary thought, image, or unpleasant idea that may become an obsession, is upsetting or distressing, can feel difficult to manage or eliminate. So the thoughts I'm going to be talking about are not that. I was just curious to see what the real definition of intrusive thoughts was, because the ones I'm thinking about are pretty comical. The type of intrusive thoughts that come into my mind are far less severe, more just odd and out of nowhere. So before I give you some examples of these type of intrusive thoughts that I'm referring to, I think I need to give you a little background information, or more so a reference point for why I have these type of thoughts. I'm not off to a good start here. You're probably already thinking I need some help. So there's one story that comes to mind when I tell people about how unusual and sometimes morbid my sense of imagination is. So when I was in high school, my foreign language of choice was German. So senior year of German, part of our final was to write a short story, and it could be about anything. She gave us a few different categories that we could potentially win a prize in. Comedy, most funny, most dramatic. It's really hard to think of what the other topics were because I just so clearly remember what mine was, which was the most gory / morbid / horror. Which is extra bizarre if you knew me as a child, because I was scared of everything, and anything gory or freaky like the story I'm about to describe to you, I was terrified of all of that. So she gave us a list of all the categories you could win in, and when she said that gory morbid category, I was like, I got this. I'm gonna put my twisted mind to work and write this freaky story. And that's what I did. So just a little summary. I wrote a story about this princess that was held in some tower or something by this Rumpelstiltskin-esque character. I can't remember what she was what the exchange was. All I remember is whenever she wanted to make this exchange for whatever it was, she had to cut off one of her fingers. There was fingers involved. I can't remember exactly where. And then when the prince came to save her, the only way to kill Rumpelstiltskin, I don't think his name was Rumpelstiltskin, that's all. I just remember he was that kind of character. So the prince had to chop him up in little pieces and then burn him. And then I honestly can't remember that many more details. You get the gist. It was just basically nonsensical gore. I think it was safe to say that no one else went for that category, and I won. I won't forget when the teacher announced that I won that category. Every single person in the class did that slow turn around look at me what? So I don't know if that gives you any idea of why I might have these type of random, odd, out of nowhere intrusive thoughts, but maybe it gives you a little back reference. I'm not sure. Maybe I just exposed myself for being a freak. So there's kind of two different types of intrusive thoughts that happen pretty regularly for me. First kind of goes right in with that story I just told you about. I get a lot of those random thoughts of potentially awful situations. Some of those are more just on the side of me being an overly worried person. My boyfriend will be 10 minutes late home from work and he hasn't said anything. I will have that one intrusive thought that's oh my gosh, maybe Taylor was in a car accident. So a lot of people can just stop it right there and be all right, He probably wasn't, you know, I'm sure he'll be home soon. But no, my mind just keeps going. But I do this all the time. I've even like thought about this like in the middle of the day when there's no reason for me to think about this. And this isn't like all day, every day. It's just every now and then start thinking about that stuff. So I have 2 guinea pigs, and just randomly I'll think about like what it's gonna feel like when I wake up one morning and one of them dies. Like, how messed up is that? Like, I don't know why I think about this. Some other intrusive thoughts I get are while I'm driving. Usually wherever I'm driving, there's some kind of like fields next to me. Sometimes I'm like, what would happen if I just like drove off the road right now? It's not even in like a suicidal way or anything like that. It's just like, what if I just took at this speed, made a hard right, and just flew into the field? There's been times where I was like holding a baby. I like can't even start this one. Like I'm holding a baby or like a small child, and then my brain just, while I'm like happily holding this little infant, my brain just has to throw in there, hey, what if you drop the baby? What? I get physically uncomfortable and I like hold the baby like even closer. I'll like go sit down on the couch and I'm just like even closer, just like my arms are secure. This other one happens a lot more often than any of these other thoughts. If I'm walking by like a lake or a big body of water, if I'm anywhere near the edge of that body of water, I have to put my phone like securely in my purse or like in my pocket or something. If I'm holding it, I just start like clenching it because I get like 10 different intrusive thoughts that are like me just picturing myself just chucking my phone in the water. For some reason, I'm afraid that my arm is just gonna get a mind of its own and just and going along with that one, there's been places we've gone hiking and there's railings and you're like up on a cliff or like on a lookout, and I'll like be leaning on the ledge and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I put my leg up and just fell over the railing? Guys, I don't know. So the second kind of intrusive thought I have is potential embarrassing situations. It's not like constant, but I'll just like randomly during the day, I'll just start thinking about this like potentially weird situation. It may not even be something that's happened. It's just like, what if this happened? And I will physically get so uncomfortable and I start getting anxiety and I'm just sitting there just like, why am I thinking about this? This isn't even happening. Like, it's not going to happen. It never did, but I'm just thinking about it. What if I just started making really weird noises loudly in this public quiet space? Come to think of it, I've probably done something similar to that before. Or another example is just potentially awkward conversations, just thinking about like having to talk to someone and like, I don't know, just saying something inappropriate or I don't know, just saying dumb things, which again is another thing that I kind of already do in real life, but maybe that's why I subconsciously am worried about it, because So by now, you're probably thinking I'm a little mentally unstable. It's just a little bit. I'm fine, it's fine. Let me know in the comments or on Facebook or somewhere if you ever have any intrusive thoughts. Maybe yours aren't as weird as mine. It can't be the only one, right? Any great way to wrap this up, so I'm just gonna end it. Thanks for watching, guys, if you made it this far. So as always, you can follow me on all social media at its_just_Kaitlin. You can also follow me on Facebook at It's Just Kaitlin. I post new cover songs every Tuesday and new vlogs / other shenanigans every Thursday. Yep. Cheers, you bunch of noobs. Hello, yes, I am wearing a hat today because my hair is flat on top, but it looks nice on the bottom. So, what to do in that situation? Put on a hat.